Learning Microsoft Project can make your eyes cross, but I'm going to uncomplicate it for you. Here is a glimpse of my teaching style that I use in the FlowCast course. We're going to walk through every aspect of Project and understand the logic behind it. You're going to see how I use features and all my customizations. Now, we're not just going to learn Microsoft Project, because scheduling is more than just putting a schedule on a pretty chart. At the end of this course, you're going to be thinking like a project manager, answering questions before they're even asked, producing dynamic forecasting models, because scheduling combines technical expertise with programmatics and puts a little bit of art into it. Come take a look. I call this the alert button field, and it has graphical indicators too. If you want a predefined time frame before your successor starts, you can put in a lag. External dependencies. This is when something is outside of your scope, but yet you're dependent on it. An example of this is if you're waiting on software being developed by another product or program or company, but yet you can't finish your testing until you receive that final software load, you can create an external dependency between their software and your task. Or sometimes I've used text as a shortened abbreviation name for a text that I want to use in my bar styles. Instead of using the long name in the task name, I can use a text field to write the abbreviation, and it shows up a little bit better, and I use that text field for the text for my bar styles. So if you say, hey, this task is 7 working days, but Monday's a holiday, it's going to make sure it is 7 working days, and it's going to skip that holiday and continue on until you get to the 7 working days. All right, so now we're at resources. This is one of the last steps of building your schedule. Once you've assigned resources to a task, your schedule is now resource loaded. And then there's also my troubleshooting view. This is when something's gone awry and there are certain fields that I know to look at so that I can quickly find where my problem is and fix it. But remember, the summary task is taking the start date, the earliest start date, and the latest finish date. And it calculates the days in between that. So when you have those tasks, but you had a 2-month gap between these 2 tasks and then the others fall below it, it's still counting that 2 months. So that's where when you look at the duration of the summary, yes, it's taking that long because it's calculating the distance between the start and the finish, but that's not how many working days, because you've got a 2-month gap in here that nothing is happening. The x-axis of a Gantt chart shows the time phase that's from the start to the finish of a project. You have bars that represent tasks or groups of tasks. The length of the bar is determined by the start date and the finish date.
Then I have formulas to say, for my plan task, I am going to count if and look at the baseline finish and count how many dates were prior to that status date of 9/5. It calculated 15. So you can see here where we had 15 things planned prior to 9/5, and we only got 9 things done. So that cumulative score is a 0.6.
This course has downloads, discussion boards on lessons, knowledge checkpoints, templates, and hands-on assignments. We will walk through a project starting at the very beginning with the build, and then we will go through the maintenance phase of managing the project. You're going to become the scheduler every corporation dreams of.
Hope this helps you for today. Now go out there and FlowCast those projects.